Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the career painter known as Steve Forster, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at the flaming color palette here. We're going to look at the spirit of the sun. We're also going to explore the divine feminine and Mother Nature more broadly. So let's just jump right into it. So at first sight, we see what appears to be the same feminine figure in various poses throughout the composition. It is no doubt a, sacred introduction to the scene. You are bound to feel a sense of awe from this work. It is absolutely stunning. One of the first things I notice, of course, is the use of space, right? We have a figure in three various poses throughout the composition, facing downward, facing towards the viewer, and then facing off to the left side, all of which immerses quite well within this composition. There is this intimate nature, of course, the portrait always provides that. I think we certainly see that within this composition. Even though there are three of the same figures, this can still be considered a portrait. I think there's no doubt about that. The next things I notice is this sense of color within this composition, right? It is captivating, it is charming, it is incendiary, it is on fire here. You see, of course, the colors within this work largely consist around red, yellow, orange, and that kind of gold. There is some green within this work as well. That no doubt contrasts that red and that gold, but within this work, it is reminding of the flame and fire more broadly. You may also notice a sense of texture here, right? This is due to the medium known as oil painting, which it was created in. Oil painting, of course, is a very classic medium. We'll talk a bit more about that near the end of the episode. But we see our subject, it feels like there's a sense of motion within this work, as if she's moving from one space to the next within this composition, as if we're just passing through or capturing different still frames of this lone subject here. I think this is incredibly important here. It's kind of like the passage of time in a way, and quite reminiscent of photography as well, which is even more impressive. It's an incredibly realistic. This is a physical oil painting. Wanted to ask you guys, what comes to mind when you first view this work, or how do you feel when you view this composition? To understand this work, the original artist, he creates a lot of different portraits. I have a few here. For example, one that is quite reminiscent of the original piece here. Can't get that lined up. There we go. And then we have another portrait from the original artist. Once again, this is the artist known as Steve Forster. He teaches a lot of different classes as well. He even works with digital painting. So he works with oil painting as well as digital painting. He even cites this work as influenced by his work in digital painting. So in all three instances, you have the portrait. Forster is so good at creating those portraits. The reason I brought in the work on the right was to show this, incendiary or the flame or the sun in both of these instances quite reminiscent of the original work that we're studying today. This is a work in progress. I do want to mention that, but the work on the right and the work on the far left is going to be, finished products, and they're just absolutely stunning. You can imagine just how much attention to detail this requires, just how much skill and finesse this requires to create compositions such as this. So just want to bring these in real quick, talk about Forster. He creates a lot of different portraits, and it's even more stunning and even more impressive that he does it in the medium of the physical painting. And of course, like I said earlier, this figure is feminine, so there is a sense of the natural within this composition. She appears to be wearing a dress or gown of some kind or another. It feels quite delicate within this work, but that, energy that's provided by the flame, it's just absolutely stunning. I think there's no doubt about that. Of course, we have what appears to be a sun behind our lone subject. That certainly acts as an amazing frame to elevate the presence of her face there. The spirit of our sun is incredibly important as well. It is something which reveals, knowledge in the night. It reveals different intel as well. It warms us. It gives us crops. There's so many different things you could say, and that's why we consider light to be sacred. That's why we consider the sun to be sacred, and even the color gold as well. They're all really important when we're looking at this composition. We also see what appears to be two sunflowers within this work. We see one on the left and one on the right, just about half of that there. Once again, the original artist said that this is a work in progress, so this is not completed. You can see elements which are still in progress here, but regardless, you see the foundation of this absolutely stunning and captivating composition. I think there's no doubt about that. When I see the sunflower, of course, that connects to the sun in very symbolic ways. It also connects to the feminine, right? Mother Nature in and of itself is considered the divine feminine. The feminine or females more broadly broadly are the source of life, right? They get pregnant and create new life. So the feminine, or the divine feminine more broadly, and of course Mother Nature as well, is a symbol which is pretty overlooked in the modern day. People often forget about that, but that's just so important. The feminine is the source of life. And within this work, I think we see that. That's my interpretation of this composition. We see the natural world through the sunflower, but we also have the spirit of the sun as well, and we have a feminine figure. So that's what comes to mind when I view and study this composition. Really hope y'all enjoyed today. Once again, want to ask you guys, what do y'all see when you view this work? This is just my interpretation, but I want to bring you guys in and see what y'all think of this stunning and captivating scene. But regardless, it's a stunning work. There is no doubt about that. Once again, this was created in the medium known as the oil painting. The oil painting is a very classic medium. It goes back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So to see this revived is truly a blessing. There are people who still work with traditional mediums such as the oil painting. That is a very important thing to consider and remember. Here at the Apollo Art Exchange, we really showcase digital art in many different ways, mostly digital mediums, but every once in a while I like to go to those physical mediums as well to just integrate that because they're just as important. But like I said, I really hope you'll enjoy it today. We talked about so many different things, from the intimate nature of the portrait. We talked about the flaming and incendiary nature of this color palette. We talked about the natural world and the sunflowers. We even talked about the divine feminine and Mother Nature more broadly as a very ancient and sacred symbol. But like I said, I really hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all enjoyed, go check out the original artist Steve Forster. Like I said, doing some amazing stuff in the medium of the oil painting. Really works with a lot of different portraits and even teaches at different schools such as the Long Island School of Fine Art. But regardless, like I said, if y'all enjoyed, go check out the original artist Steve Forster. My name's Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.